You're listening and tuning into
Ethic Radio.
Broadcasting live from Los Angeles, California. Yo, what's up? You listening and tuning to Ethic Radio. I'm your host with the most, A.C.Ceenno, broadcasting live from Los Angeles, California. I have my special guest here in the house, and his name is Sid Author, recording artist. Got a record out on Bandcamp. Hey, yo, Sid Author, say what's up to the listeners out there, man.
Yo, what's good? How's everyone doing out there?
You know what I'm saying? So look, y'all, we finna play this song Faithful, and we be right back.
What's good? What's not? Everything is popping, everything is hot. Everything is cool, everything is both. Tipping on a tightrope. I never let the weatherman determine my mood. Tight bolts, tight screws. I'm a pretty stubborn dude. Temporary situation called condition, call a truce. Cause my vibe too high, so your news don't apply. Tap into a higher frequency, I'm free as shit. Fire drama levitate with only lyrics from my lips. Lie shit, is what I'm trying to say. I just try to keep it basic, like outer space. Like you never really seen a planet out of place. You never seen a planet sweat another planet's pace. A planet gets there when it gets there, it's never late. And when it gets there, it's never scared, it knows its fate. I must be never faithful hates. To myself for a minute. Pluto, I think Pluto might. I was faking my joy, used to not get it. Thank you for all of the rain. Yeah, and I'm feeling hot as sriracha. I'm about to go full Chewbacca on everything life can offer. Often offer my ancestors offerings for abundance protection. So I ain't really into killing. I don't really carry weapons. I'm more like really into healing. For real, I'm really about this money right now. That's why I keep my vibe up, keep my adrenaline down. If you have too much drama, there's no room for blessings around. And I trust my heart more and wear a crown for intuition now. Even if I look asshole, I still would trust my prediction. I still would walk in my truth, cause I know that it's God-given. I take the truth and untwist it, spit it with ill diction. Try to talk to your spirit, so happen the ears hear it. I spit it there like I'm in. I command the mic like it's 10. Thou shalt not sweat the bullshit. Take a deep breath, transcend it. Basically keep it stepping. Know your peace is your weapon. Above all else, trust your body. If you listen to anybody. I must be faithful to myself for a minute. I was faking my joy, used to not get it. Thank you for all of the rain. Yeah, running and playing and sleeping in the evening and eating and drinking and breathing and freeing and love. We were chillin' in the garden and the clothes were off. Then we saw the light, this when shit got dark. Love. What you do when your condition is straight toilet. Add a little heat every day till it's boiling. Set your intent with the sun in the morning. Take a deep breath in your lungs, steady yawning. And the star shining on kill. And I'm smoother than them dudes in $2,000 shoes. And the roof on fire, but it's cool cause I did that. Take that. I must be faithful to myself for a minute. I was faking my joy, used to not get it. Thank you for all of the.
Yeah, that was Sid Author, Faithful, available now on Bandcamp. And I also have Sid Author here in the building with me on Ethic Radio. Yo, say what's up, man. Say what's up, Sid. What's going on?
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, man. Happy Friday to you, man. Had to give you a hand clap on that, bruh. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Real talk. It's good to have you here, man. It's an honor to have you here on Ethic Radio, you know?
Cool. Dope. Likewise, it's good to be here.
That's what's up. So, man, let the listeners out there know who's Sid Author and where you from, man. You know, like, where'd you grew up at, and How did it all started?
Well, I'm from Philadelphia, from the East Coast. I don't know, man. Like, I was just talking to a good friend of mine who was also in the beat battle,
Yeah.
named Arca. Um, uh, I started actually like right before I went to high school. You know, a good friend of mine. He had like a little 5-track recorder in his crib that his mom got him. We used to always make beats on that.
Right.
Um, so I don't know. Like, I was kind of just being diligent. And then one time we were at a little garage sale at the church. Growing up, like a family like big in church culture. So like, once I got that keyboard from that church garage sale, that was it. I was on that thing every day making tracks.
Right.
So yeah, that was kind of.
So you used to get up like late at night and couldn't sleep and just be so quick to make a beat.
Yeah, late night, early morning, driving my family crazy.
Yeah.
Making noise at all hours of the day. So.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So who are your influences?
That's a lot, man. I remember. It's funny, cause I'm from the East Coast, but like the very first like rap that I heard and there's a lot on the radio I was listening to. Like there's a lot of stuff that was definitely influential. Like you had Leah, like Timberland, like everybody that was just on that team. I remember when I was a kid, I was just so crazy about that sound because it was so different.
Right.
And like all the bad boy stuff, it's just like all that, like Diddy and Mace and all that. But my first like personal experience where I was like, whoa, what is this? Was Dre came on the radio one day. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it was weird because I was on the East Coast, so like it just was a region. Music was it's not so much now, but it was a very regional thing.
Right.
And for Dre to come on and just like, I don't know, I just connected to the way the drums was, and the sounds were like weird. Like the drums were like I can't. The best way I can explain is it felt like the drums was on the opposite side of the beat than what I was used to. You know what I mean? Everything was just like, my mind was blown. It was I don't know how much y'all, of course y'all are, but the Dr. Dre track, Been There, Done That.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was like the first song I connected with on a personal level. And it was like mad rude, like the drums is mad like raw.
Yeah, because Dr. Dre is a dope producer.
Yeah.
And when he did that Chronic 2000 album, that was a beautiful masterpiece, work of art ever made in hip hop history and gangster rap history at that, which was very, very powerful right there. Because when I first heard the record before it came out, you couldn't help but bop your head on every track, and we talking about 21 tracks on that record. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So, is there like any other influences?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, name a few. Break it down, man.
All the greats, man. Dilla definitely. That was somebody I didn't even know they were influencing me. I was listening to a bunch of stuff they had produced. But Dilla was like a huge influence, the first album I bought with my own money, it was about the same time. Like the first album I bought with my own money was Q-Tip Amplified. And I bought it on like this field trip when I was in 8th grade. And I remember like just playing that back to back. And my favorite song till this day is on there. He has a song in there called Let's Ride.
Yeah.
And it just was like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that I just remember like that track was like, again, it was like, my mind is always blown with people like mix stuff together that don't seem to work. Yeah. And the samples he had like this jazz sample from Joe Pass called Giant Steps. You know what I mean? That's like a classic jazz song. All these legendary musicians have played it. But the way he mixed that with like the UFO sound, and then like these like the drums were just, and it just like I was like, this should not go together, but it fits perfect. So I was like, oh man,
Pretty much, he
you know,
made it. He found a way to make it fit with the sample and
yeah,
everything. You
you
know,
know, yeah, you know,
he pretty much just made it happen for the most part. He would take a raw sound and just tweak it real good.
right, you know. And so, like, I mean, and I know that's like the fundamental nature of hip hop, but it's something about the way he did it. You know what I mean? It was just like, you know what I mean? Um, Pharrell is like a mega influence on
Yeah.
like the way I
The
write music. Like,
Neptunes, yeah, for real. Boy, he's something else too, boy. You heard that song Freedom?
yo, it's interesting. I know we hadn't got to that point yet, but that's like what inspired Faithful largely. Like that song was like largely what inspired me to even write that song in the first place.
Oh wow. So what's the
Yeah.
story about Faithful, man? This song that you have wrote and produced and record. Tell the listeners about how did Faithful came about.
Um, what was just that? Like I hadn't like been listening to Pharrell for a while. Not for any particular reason, just like, you know, it had been a while since they put the last thing out, and you know, the Happy videos were like in circulation, and I loved the concept because it just was. I liked how what Pharrell was putting out was just so people oriented. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the most like. I guess it was like because what really pulled me into the Neptunes was like the NERD albums, and I would say like if the NERD albums were an age, I would call it teenage. You know what I mean? Like it was very adolescent. Not like the maturity of their songwriting. Their songwriting is advanced, but just like the time period that NERD resonates with is like being a teenager. You know?
Right, right, right.
You know? You know, and all this crazy like lap dance and like all these like, you know, songs are wild and rebellious and like, you know, and so this time around when Pharrell came out, it was like, now I'm grown, you know, and
Right.
these are the things that I'm paying attention to, like when I write, and I'm like, human beings experience, um, from this perspective of being a mature songwriter, a mature producer,
Right.
and then beyond that, like the motivational aspect of it, and telling people stories, you know, it was
Yeah.
like instead of telling just his story, he was telling like people's story.
Right.
And so
Right.
like freedom was that. Like freedom, when I heard that song, um I loved all the songs that he did on that project, but when he did that song in particular,
Yeah.
I was like, you know, because it's not specific, but then you look at the images that are tied to what he's saying in the lyrics, and there's all these different walks of life, and you see people like, you see like prisoners working in a quarry, and then you see like somebody breaking through a wall, and the next minute you see like him in a like post-apocalyptic mall, and it's like, well, what are you trying to say here? And it's just like this idea of like all these people being in this expression,
Yeah.
regardless of how weird or how everyday it is, and he covers that whole spectrum from like mundane stuff to unusual stuff.
Right. Right.
And you know, I was inspired by it. I was like, yo, I would like to write something that tells everybody's story. And I think something I was going through that I feel like many people go through is like learning how to put yourself first,
Real
in order to
talk.
be your best self, so then you can be a better servant, you know. And sometimes like by putting ourselves first and like being who we are and understanding who we are, we can like be our best selves. And then once we start being our best selves, what we're contributing to the world becomes better,
Right.
you know.
Real
And so
talk.
that's, you know,
That's
so
real.
that's
That's real right there, man. Real talk. So what's next for you, Sid? You know, do you got anything coming up from shows to, you know, events? What you got cracking at this
yeah.
point?
Oh man, a few things, man. I'm like, I'm continuing. I'm working on a follow up project for Faithful. I don't want to give up too much about it, but I definitely would stay tuned. Like, stay tuned to my website, lifeofsid.com.
Yeah,
Um, you know, if you like to get on my email, you can shoot me a message on that website as well.
most definitely, most definitely.
Um, So yeah, I'm working on that, creating the creating follow-up content for that. I'm
Yeah.
working on a few projects. I got like 3 EPs coming out within the next year.
Okay.
The wheels are spinning. I'm like been working with different producers, collaborating a lot.
That's what's up.
Um, and then by about this time next year, I have an album done.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. Like just being consistent and putting music out.
That's what's
And
up.
you know, yeah,
At least
making
you're
sure it
doing
has.
well on it so far. Have you ever
Thank
thought
you.
about getting like publishing, YouTube publishing, to where you can pay your music and get royalty checks for your
Def-
music being streamed on YouTube?
definitely. That's actually the goal. Like that's, but like having consistent content. I think this is because being an artist is like a you know at some point it gets to be this numbers game.
Yeah.
And just in playing that numbers game, I've been kind of like looking outside myself in the sense that like I know if I can create the content consistently and then be building with other people that are like
Having a following that's building their
yeah,
brand as well, and basically combining your brand with other people that has a brand as well, even if it's like a brand in the making, you know?
definitely. Definitely. And that's what it's about, you know what I mean? Just kind of finding that tribe and like learning who shares similar missions and
Right.
like
Right.
and building and being involved and around and exchanging with those energies so that way, over time I'm creating the necessary traffic
Real
to
talk.
make the streaming make
Yeah.
the streaming profitable.
Yeah. And if there's any information that you want to know, let me know, because I'm very knowledgeable when it comes to the digital music business, on how you can collect revenue for your music online and on the internet. That's like if you have music on SoundCloud and your music is being played constantly on SoundCloud, you can collect revenue for that, for SoundCloud and for YouTube as well. So I have some information that I can provide for you
But
to take the next step with your career in your independent movement of doing music and your artistry.
yeah, definitely, man. We could definitely build on that. I would greatly appreciate that.
Oh yeah, man,
That's
that's what
what.
it's all about, man. I mean, ethic is all about helping independent artists such as yourself get out there and push their music the right way, to where they can collect residual income for their work, which is the whole goal and the purpose of us being here.
Mm,
So like, I have a record company called Ethic Records, Ethic Films, and Ethic Radio, and also Ethic Media, to where we go out and we reach out to the celebrities and try to get them to help us out with our independent movement of what we're doing and what we got going on. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say it's good that we met at the beat battle, which it was a good experience, because I wasn't intentionally trying to beat you in a beat battle, nothing like that, man. I just wanted people
right,
to hear my music and
right.
they like it and stuff like that. So and I just wanted to
Cool.
clarify that, on that note, because like I said, I've been following your work before I met you in person. And I was
Right.
just a guy sitting in the cut, just chilling, observing, and just keeping it cool. And that guy in the cut that just come out with some good heat for people to listen to. And I have tons of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Just
Hmm.
creating music and being around musicians that are creative, such as yourself, and such as John Pierre and David Mnemonic from Beat
Hmm.
Grade. And my question to you is, how did you and David Mnemonic and Beat Grade got connected?
At a workshop, there's an awesome space over in Santa Monica called the uh, I forgot what the P stands for. Called PYFC, Pico Youth and Family Center, and
Okay.
yeah, and they have workshops there every Wednesday. That I really would recommend people come check out. It's very independent artist oriented. It's about getting you the right information to be able to promote yourself well. It's about helping develop artists stage
Yeah.
wise, like what's proper stage etiquette, um, and also like engaging artists directly about their content. Because it's so important to have someone guide you. I remember like when I started, and that doesn't mean that I don't now, because I definitely still do. But I remember starting and like knowing very little, and I had those people in my corner to be like, people that were like in the game for a while, like, look, but I believe in what you're doing. But if you want this to work, try this. If you want it to work, try this. And
Right. Right. Right.
you know, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be here, if I didn't have those people to do that for me. So
Real talk.
that's kind of what that space is. That space is like seasoned artists and also artists that are in the same space as you,
Yeah.
collaborating and working together
Right.
to make each other better.
Right.
You know.
Right. To educate each other, and we have a lot to offer, and we have a lot to bring to the table, to where we can help one another go to the next level with the skills that we have and the capability at our disposal. It's like we really don't need any major people backing us, because we have the quality and the capability to make it happen, to make it look good, even if it's film, music video, or just putting out a song and getting on stage and performing it and collecting donations for your merchandise and stuff like that. That's what it's really all about in this today's music business. How do you feel about the music business changing from analog to digital? I ask every artist that question on what's their intake for the change of the music business. How do you feel about that? What is your intake?
I mean, I think ultimately, I don't know if I have a particular personal feeling about it. I just know that it definitely gives I'll say is giving the artist more options. Um, and I think that's what it's about at the end of the day, like making sure putting the power back in the artist's hands.
Right, right.
Um, there was a time because like the music industry was in an awkward transition. I think maybe even before things went digital, and I think the digital era maybe not necessarily, but like maybe was one of the answers to what was happening because just as we approached the time where artist development wasn't a priority for the label,
Right.
then artists needed something to kind of level the playing field, and I think perhaps the internet was that, depending on how proficient you are or how able you are, or how much I should say you're able to leverage a team that could um, make you visible on the internet.
Right.
So it's an answer, but it's an answer only if like you're willing or have the resources to make the internet work.
Right.
For in your favor, especially because the labels are also like making internet work.
Yeah.
But then like the flip side to that was it was like a kind of domino effect. Now, if you do want to go the label route, if you do want to go, um, publishing or even like distribution, people are looking for a certain amount of following. A lot of times you hear, I've gone to like so many workshops about these kind of things, and they all say the same thing. Like
You
labels
gotta
are
have
looking
them
for you. To have
followers. You gotta have followers. You gotta
yeah.
have subscribers, like over 100 to 200 subscribers. And it's like if you're doing something major like film, you gotta have over 1,000 subscribers in order to make money off of YouTube, and
hmm
or you gotta have over 1,000 followers on Twitter or any social media
hmm
outlet in order for majors to pay attention to what you're doing, because in order to really build that, is doing a lot of events on a consistent basis,
Mhm.
which is
Mhm.
a tough challenge sometimes because you got to constantly grind all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right. Yeah, definitely. It can be time consuming. It's it's like a tightrope walk. Like I'm like working on that balance. So just and really just appreciating the value of consistency. Like if I can be consistent and put something out every week, and then have ways to engage people, um, both on the internet and in real time. That's been helping me steadily grow.
right,
Um, but you also do. I definitely believe you need that team too, and I've been like kind of. But again, like maybe the only way, not the only way, but one of the best ways to do that is just be visible and present. So like I had to like be doing shows and be present and working and collaborating with people
right,
in order to even start getting a team.
yeah,
And so it's just um, and I value that because as an artist, I don't know if it's necessarily true for every artist, but one of my favorite things is being on stage. Like absolutely, hands down, is the on stage part of it.
right,
And
right,
so you know, I've been just appreciating that and being more engaged in that. Um, Instead of maybe staying so far on the content side of things until like instead of like disappearing until the album is ready, like being
right,
physically present, doing shows, and like just staying in there, engaging people directly. Um, and once I started doing the momentum, I started to see like a slow. But now, right now, I'm like, okay, I need this somehow include more people in this so I can like speed this up a little.
yeah.
You know.
Just like developing a team of people that have the knowledge to
Mhm.
make it happen, make it possible, that has that formula. It's like
Mhm.
everybody has a glass of water, but you have to add your own flavor to the water to make it your flavor.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? Metaphorically
Mhm.
speaking, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? So, look, we're about to go on a commercial break right now to all you listeners out there. So, stay tuned, and we'll be right back here on Ethic Radio. Ethic Record Films presents.
History, as far as is we having a black president. I think Obama is the second black president that we had in American history.
When it comes to African American history, it is so codified and so covered that I've just read some of those, and they've named about there were 5 different folks that they claim were before it was really George Washington, and then in between that we've had several people of African heritage.
It's a lot of stuff that our people have done and has been excluded out of the history books because they don't want us to know anything about us, what our people have.
Martin Luther King Jr. was a civil rights activist, and during his days of studying, Gandhi and applying his education towards Morehouse, which is a college for black men.
The importance of Dr. King's legacy to me is just, it's a story of faith, humility, and strength, you know what I mean, to go through that struggle and still be able to.
Order Black History Story now and today at www.ethicrecordfilms.com. Again, order Black History Story documentary movie, The Past and the Present, right now at ethicrecordfilms.com. Ethic Record Films presents. Hello to all you listeners all over the world. Tune in to Ethic Radio every Fridays at 2 p.m. You can also tune in to Ethic Radio Afterdark every Fridays at 11 p.m. and weekdays at 11 p.m.
I approve myself, a 5 on a scale of 1 to homeless. Couch surfing at my mama's, never been richer. I ricochet off depression and master the full court press. I shed a light on deception and make my enemy feel blessed. I'm a warrior that's peaceful, that's also mastered gymnastics. I'm nice on the rings, I backflip and dodge a distraction tactic. You treat your life like an outcome, I treat my life like it's practice. My destiny is a diamond, a piece of coal in this process. I approve myself and got vulnerable instead of Kevlar, transparent instead of projecting. I learned that blocking my pain was only blocking my blessings. I learned that blocking the rain was only drying my branches. I know that life, if you flex and I see through you, nigga. I must keep in touch with me. I must keep in touch with me. When your life is falling to pieces, just life offering you peace. The creators click and delete on what's keeping your lifestyle off fleek. And I ain't talking about fashion, email it and hashtag it to yourself so you don't forget it, so it stick with you like a tattoo. Pardon my metaphors, I'm just trying to be a masseuse. I mean I'm trying, get beneath the surface. I mean I'm trying, get in alignment. Is that a chiropractor or a masseuse? I mean I'm trying, just get silent with volume for all this violence. It's high as fuck, need something to interrupt the stereotypical system. Social media and propaganda is really just a distraction from a higher purpose. You know how they do. My purpose is Uranus, a great awakener. I'm uranium to these patriarchal, bureaucratic, resource hoarding, and you're corny, and your days are numbered. Even says it in your Bible, homie. Is you paranoid or nah? Only matter of time before Babylon fall. I'm building up while you crumble. I marathon while you stumble. You tripping, I'm on my humble. I'm tripping, but I'm too graceful. Muhammad Ali, no Marcus is reckless rhetoric.
Yeah, that was Sid Author right here. Yo, Sid, that was a dope song, man. You know, I like that song right there, man, that you just did. You know, that was dope right there. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, sir.
Man, anytime, man. You know, we just had to get back on here. And, yeah, so to all you listeners out there, man, reach out to Sid. You know, Sid is a good artist and a dope producer and a music video director as well. So tell the listeners out there, where can they find you? Like, what's your website? What's your social media outlets, man?
Definitely. You can find me on any social media at Sid Author. Instagram, definitely. My website is lifeofsid.com. You can check out my music on there. There's a link that says sites and there's a link that says sounds. Sites is a link to my videos. Sounds is a link to my music. Also, feel free to ask questions. Scroll through the page, check the content out. There's live sessions, music videos. Um, you know, I also do events periodically, so always be checking for that. Um, yeah, you know.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Yeah, because we want to make sure that folks out there can find you, man. You know,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and find the work and see your progress of the work of art that you're doing. You know,
Yes, sir.
which is a great thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. So man, I know it's been a long day for you, man. How was your day, man? I mean, how do you feel about the whole voting situation? Did you vote on Tuesday?
I did not vote on Tuesday, actually. To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I've been I don't know, because I don't knock politics,
Right, right, right.
I don't knock politics. And I think that everything's necessary. I and it was weird too, because I literally, maybe about this time last year, recorded a song when I was talking about like the importance of voting, and I'm kind of like in an in between space with it right now, just because for a few reasons. I don't want to discourage anyone from voting. I understand the importance of it, and I understand the importance of the fight for it.
Right,
Like being people of color. Um, you know, to be able to vote was something that we fought for.
right.
You know, and there's so many things that we do today that someone had to fight for.
Real talk.
And you can't um disavow the importance or belittle the importance of sacrifices that someone made in order for you to be able to do a certain thing,
Yeah,
without your life being in danger.
real talk.
So I respect that. But then also there's always layers to things,
Hmm.
and some of the things um that we fought for weren't necessarily like at the foundation of what needed to change.
Yeah,
Um, and so like I don't know. It's just like the waking up process is like a long one. And there's always more layers. And I've been feeling in a place where I'm gonna be all the way honest. Even I always feel awkward about this discussion
yeah.
just because it's a sensitive topic.
I mean, and it's
Um,
okay. You can speak on it, man. That's what Ethic Radio is all about, man. Speak your mind. Speak how you feel.
where
It's
where
no restrictions on Ethic Radio. You can express how you feel, and I won't even stop you or cut you off on it because the goal here is you can be who you are here on Ethic Radio. You can speak your
where
mind here on Ethic Radio. You never hesitate
where
to say anything here because this everything has its chance, and that's what ethic means. So you can
where
speak your mind, speak on it. That's what we here for. You know what I'm saying?
where
You know,
where
break it
you
down,
know
man. Break it down to us, man. Let us know what's on your brain, man. Because I know
where
it's a crazy topic, but it's okay to express that to us.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even from the place like the two songs, even like the song you just played for me, which I'm appreciative. I just want to give you a shout out and thank you for putting my music on your
Anytime,
platform.
anytime.
That's important. Like artists that are looking to make a splash in the world need that.
Yeah,
Um, but those songs are about like not externalizing our power. Um, and the the I wouldn't go as far as say danger, but the catch-22 of fighting for inclusion in society in a certain way,
yeah,
it kind of already like puts you in a disempowered position.
right,
And like those songs I wrote in very close proximity to each other because I was learning on a personal level where I was externalizing my power. You know,
right, right.
and that's important. I think to know we're externalizing our power, and when you look at like what a president is or like what um uh what a celebrity is, or like what a anybody that we nominate to represent something
Right.
within our lives, that can't be the point where and this is why I'm saying, not saying don't vote, but I am saying that how um how important is the president to your development? You know what I mean? In a
Exactly.
sense that, you know,
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, man.
you know,
And that's why I tell some people out there, to those out there that never vote, I don't blame them. And everybody's entitled to their personal opinion of why
right,
they don't feel right with
right,
voting this time around of this year. You
you
know,
know,
a lot of people are very fearful right now because the situations that's been happening through our society of
hmm,
the human race.
right, right, right,
So this is why um, we're here, because it's okay for you to speak your mind on it. Everybody deserves to speak their mind on it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, you know, and if I could just continue on that too, just
Go ahead.
and to be specific, because here's the thing, like, if we're talking about, especially within the context of who's the president of the United States, um, even beyond whether or not elections are rigged, more importantly, I f- I wouldn't even say I feel that what's happening is the president is like an avatar for whatever the United States agenda is at that time. You know,
Real talk.
it's like, it's like the same way when you're casting a movie, you need the perfect person to play a certain role so that people can receive things in a certain way.
Hmm.
Um, so if you want to look at Barack Obama, and this is not me criticizing Barack Obama
No,
personally,
no. You're entitled to your
um,
own opinion.
but Barack Obama uh, is very charismatic dude. His domestic policies are very on point, and what he's done within the infrastructure of the country is awesome.
Yeah.
But throughout the world, Barack Obama made some of the most gully, for lack of a better word, some of the most gully decisions. Everybody that George Bush, quote unquote, couldn't kill, Barack Obama had murdered,
Right.
across seas. So you talk about Gaddafi. We're talking about uh, I think Saddam was murdered before Barack's presidency. Look at the situation in quote unquote neutralizing ISIS and all these things
Right.
that are taking place. Um, Osama bin Laden, all these quote unquote terrorists. And I'll say quote unquote terrorists empathizing with them.
Yeah.
I say quote unquote because these are United States sanctioned entities that were created by the United States by people that are currently employed by the United States, in
Of
the government.
course.
And so I'm saying all that because, like, there's this big game. This is all like a big game
Right.
in the sense that there's players, and each one of those players has a role. And if you look consistently throughout history, for instance, if you look at during Reagan's presidency, Ronald Reagan is notably an actor. Everyone knew that.
Yeah.
Um, and if you look at kind of what's taking place during his presidency, there was a lot of, even just within media, a lot of behaviors and things being implemented domestically to make certain things happen,
Right.
while certain things were happening abroad. And there's this cycle of creating like distractions or disruptions or peace, depending on what's convenient for what the international agenda is.
Real talk. I,
And
I, I totally give you that. I totally do. You hitting it on the nail. You making a great point there. You know.
right, and so I'm not saying like you should or shouldn't vote, but I feel that uh because I'm not even sure how I feel about it. But what I will say is that the importance of it is, and this is I think this is where what I was saying becomes a personal, like before I was dropping some facts, but this is where it becomes a personal opinion. I feel that maybe in terms of transforming ourselves or making society better, I think that maybe going inward may be the best. Well, I won't say maybe, could be the best, depending on who you are, approach
Right.
to improving society. Because once we start um, making decisions, values, building things, educating ourselves based on principles that resonate with us in a way that's honest,
Hmm.
start developing ourselves as people, like policies that are designed for oppression, or even if it's not all the way oppression, even if it's just distraction from
Right.
what's going on in the world, kind of don't have as much bearing because we're self-guided individuals, and that individual doesn't mean like that it breaks the collective. Individual means that people are expressing themselves at the highest level of who they are, and then the way like creation itself is designed doesn't leave holes in how things are moving in the world.
Real talk.
Like, you know, like if everybody's on purpose, then there will be enough clothes. There will be technology still. There will be educators still. There will be people that grow food. Because there are people that are innately gifted with those abilities, and if we address that, if we address our wellness and how we relate to the world and society, if our worldview changes from anti or survival to
Right.
a thrive mindset, then we can reduce poverty,
Of
because
course.
people's reality, I feel like oppression. If we really look at oppression is largely belief systems, because oppression is self-sustaining. The only thing people have to do to continue oppression right now is make sure that media and propaganda supports an oppressed mentality, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And so, if we're going to break those things in society, it doesn't really so much depend on who's the president. It depends on what we believe about reality, no matter who's the president or who's the senator, who's involved with whatever, because we're self-guided and have enough resources and are and have a strong enough what a good friend of mine calls internal locus of control, that we decide what things mean for us in our reality and how it impacts what we're able to do, and we can thrive in any situation,
Right.
because reality is very transient, and sometimes you up and sometimes you down. So we got to like learn how to have um that 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 drive and resilience, because if you look at people that are privileged, if you look at white people that are privileged, their reality, and I'm saying this from experience because I went to private school growing up actually,
Right.
and I remember um, the way black kids looked at things, and also too, even though I know Bill Cosby's like in a very compromised situation, Bill Cosby did do some very valuable work,
Yeah.
and he has a movie about this actually that
Okay.
deals with
What's the name of the movie?
what is the name of the movie? I have to look it up,
Oh, okay.
but it's essentially about how black children perceive things and how white children perceive things.
Yeah, from two
Um,
different perspectives, pretty much.
hmm
Okay.
And he did like one of the many studies. For instance, he had like he asked a black child to draw a self-portrait and a white child to draw a self-portrait.
Mhm.
All of the white children's self-portraits had arms.
Right.
The black children were drawing themselves without arms, and
Wow.
arms psychologically represent like dexterity and manual control, being able to influence what's going on around you in your reality.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and those are like the paradigms we're coming in with. So when you see a bunch of black kids, like I was in private school, but there were a bunch of black kids, and when you're dealing with that, and also in the systemic part of it, where like the teacher's trying to tell me that Egyptians weren't black, and I'm having a back and forth. But that's I think that's powerful, because that means that in my household, someone was saying no, these people
Right.
were of color. Before any Europeans got here, there were people of color, and in the room I slept in, my grandfather kept his library, so we had all these books about, what Africans contributed to the world,
Right.
not only in recent history, like not like after slavery,
Yeah.
but millennia before slavery.
Right. Let me ask you a question. Speaking of
Yeah.
slavery, have you seen the
Yeah.
new series of Roots
Nah,
The
not
remake on the History Channel?
nah.
Man, I've been watching. I've been up all night since 5 a.m. this morning watching Roots. And let me tell you, now the remake was well put together. And there was some parts that really had me pissed off because it was like, wow. Now, keep in mind, I've never saw the original version of Roots, but I can imagine how the original was made if I would have seen the original, but maybe once they digital remaster it or something like that. I'm pretty sure they did, and it's on Blu-ray. Then I'm gonna have to find it and watch the original Roots. You've seen the original version, right? Have you seen the original version of the Roots?
I've seen parts of it.
Yeah. But
wait, and I know I'm going in right now, but this is actually. It was interesting that you brought this up because it's something I feel very passionate about.
Yeah.
And I feel like part of that.
I mean, you need before you continue. When you get a chance, man, you need to see my documentary film called The Black History Story, The Past and the Present. It's on my website at ethicrecordfilms.com. And let me tell you, I've touched on some things in this movie about Africa. And I touched in this movie about African American entrepreneurs that were involved in our history.
Awesome.
Like, it's a lot of stuff. Like, man, like, it was a powerful documentary, and it's still growing every day. It's out on Amazon as well. And yeah, man, a lot of things started from Africa, but what people need to recognize is that even just like how they had white slaves, how slavery started, but it was already there. Slavery was already there before the Europeans took over slavery. They kind of like took that away from the people that were in Africa already slaving other African people as well.
Well, I mean, yeah. I feel where you're coming from with that on some level, but I feel like like rather than like trying to understand whether or not there was slavery amongst Africans or not within Africa before Europeans instituted slavery, I would say that I think one of the most important things for us to do is take our attention off slavery.
Right.
I think that the way media works, and the reason why I brought Reagan up earlier is because you'll notice that media is often used as a primer for something they plan to implement in society again at some point.
I mean, it's like every black movie that's being made, it always has something that relates to slavery. Right.
You got The Help. I forgot what the movie where like Lupita blew up in. Well, I forgot the title of that movie. But it was a movie about slavery. Yeah. And then they
12 Years of Slavery. That one.
Yeah, there it is. That's the movie.
12 Years of Slavery.
Yeah, and I just think that this is gonna get maybe a little abstract and spiritual at this point.
No, it's okay.
But it's real.
It can be.
And it's just that what our thoughts are concentrated on is what becomes real.
Yes.
And the people that control this country and the people that want to maintain wealth for themselves only are trying to implement a reality of slavery so that the way people will function in that capacity before they even have to, or so that maybe they won't even have to expend the effort to re-enslave people. So it's like a subtle thing, if you want to even call it that. It's a subtle thing. And so when you're asking me if I've been watching Roots, the reason why I don't watch things like that is because I try not to tune into things that'll have me in a mind state where I'm in a violent state, or if I'm in an oppressed state, or being in an impoverished state. Like things that reinforce those ideas, I try to veer away from often, and of course you're going to get contrast in your life because there's good and bad,
Yeah.
but I can to some degree choose what my diet of reality is, and
Exactly.
you know,
I
and that's
totally agree with you, man.
you
All the
know,
way. All the way. I
you
totally
know,
agree. Because, some people are like into it, and some people just can't really have the stomach for it to really see
hmm
it right in front of their eyes. Because,
yeah,
everybody's trying to think on a positive note and manifest positivity in order to gain positive instead of always manifesting on the negative, always complaining
right,
about the negative instead of
right,
trying to fix the problem and tell themselves that it's going to be all right, or look in the mirror every day and say, hey, today is going to be a good day.
hmm
Then that's what counts. But you got some people that are so angry amongst themselves and so bitter, they don't want to touch on their inner self and
hmm
a spirituality. You see what I'm saying?
right,
So, because I'm a spiritual dude too, man. I pray every day, man, before I
good,
even
good,
get through my day, before
good,
I
good,
even drive anywhere, or before I even accomplish anything. I have to say a prayer every day, man, because things can just go bad at any given time if you're just constantly on the go without. It's okay to take precaution, but
hmm
at the same time, you have to think positive no matter what the
right,
circumstances are in sight. You see what I'm saying?
right, right,
So I totally can relate to you on that note because I speak on certain things based on experiences, because experiences
right,
has been the best teacher for the
hmm
both of us. You see what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, hmm
So and that's what motivated me to do with what I'm doing here at Ethic, is to embrace the things that are going on. This is like a therapy to me, and
hmm
it's like we're having a therapy session, and the world is listening to our therapy session.
hmm
So it's a beautiful thing, man. It's great.
yeah.
So is there like any shout outs you want to give to the folks out there?
Yeah, I wanna shout out definitely I wouldn't have discovered the beat battle or been on the show today if it wasn't for Mike Sessions at PYFC. So yeah, shout out Layla Steinberg. Shout out my homie Corey from the Conscious. I was just building with him earlier. He performed at the beat battle also.
Yeah.
Definitely shout out Dave Newmonic for approaching me and like letting me know that he was interested, having me come to the beat battle. Because it's just always good when folks believe in you.
Right.
Um, because as an artist, it's good to have a strong internal sense of what your worth is, but it's also good to resonate with other people to have that mission. So that was, it's a big affirmation. Um, you know, shout out to my man Arca, um, who was also in a beat battle. Shout out to Ethic Radio for having me out here today. For playing my songs as well. That's always love because it's messages. With the things we're talking about, they're in the music. We say they need to be in the music, but they are in the music, and you're someone that's helping get the music out there.
Yeah.
When we do talk about these things, and so thank you for that so much.
Oh, anytime, man. It's a pleasure, man. We have to be on here more often to talk about like music business. My goal is to get a team of people such as yourself, and like David Newmonic and everyone else to like really get on the line and do like a great hip hop talk show,
hmm
and we all have topics to where we can educate people on how to get involved in the digital world of the music business,
hmm
and put together a structure plan on how they can go about making a living for their work online.
Yeah, Yeah.
So
Critical.
yeah, and it has its pros and cons, but it's a lot of educating. You know, got to have a lot of education in this here. It's a lot of reading. It's a lot of really sitting down and taking the time to really do it. So it's a tough process here. But, you know, as long as you're dedicated, then, you know, hey, that's all that matters. You just got to do it, you know, and team up with people that has the same passion as you with music and with film and with trying to be successful at it. It's good to have a team of positive people that are doing positive things amongst other people that are trying to make it like them. You know, when you look at an interview of any famous celebrity on like Oprah Network or The View, and they say, well, hey, what inspired you to get where you, and they say, hey, well, you know, I've been around positive people all my life, and you know, and this is why I'm where I'm at now today because of being around positive people. I hear that all the time. So and that's what it takes for great people to work together. So basically, I'm looking forward to a great future with working with you and your artistry and your music and your filmmaking skills as well. So that would be a great venture for us because, you know, our door is always open to work with anybody that has a voice or that has talent and that's trying to get somewhere with their talent, and they already got, you know, finished product that's just like ready to go. So
But
yeah, man, it was good having you here on Ethic Radio, you know,
yes,
after
sir.
dark.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, so man, it's, you know, it's just great. I'm just like, you know, kind of speechless and everything, and it's been a long day for everybody, I know, but you know, we still managed to make it happen here on Ethic Radio. So but yeah, I like to give a shout out to everybody that's been listening. Shout out to Beat Grade. Don't forget to sign up with Beat Grade at beatgrade.com. And shout out to Sid Author. And shout out to Ivory Black. And, you know, just shout out to everybody pretty much. Hey, yo, tell the listeners out there where they can find you, man. Get that website, man, and Facebook, Twitter, man. Where can they find you, man? And where can they cop your record?
Definitely. You can go to my website, lifeofsid.com. If you want to check out some of my music, you can click Sounds. It's a link called Sounds. If you want to look at some of my videos, click Sites. And yeah, you can follow me on any social media at Sid Author, SIDAUTHOR.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah. So yeah, man, that's a good deal. So look, y'all, to all you listeners out there, thanks for listening. We're signing out. Peace and much love. And you already know I'm about to play that song again one more time. And you already know the song I'm going to play. And that's the song Faithful. And we're going to close out here. Thank you for tuning in and listening to Ethic Radio right here. Much love to you all. Have a good night. And thanks for listening.
Raise the bar, be the shit, love yourself, know your worth. Mook mean, you the mosque, you the God, you the church. You don't have to look around, inside is where you search. Not a preacher or a man, chapter 1, just the verse.
Never underestimate your value cause you infinite. Treasure limit, go and get your money cause you infinite. Since the infant ruler of the planet cause you infinite.
What's good? What's good? What's not? What's not? Everything is popping, everything is hot. Everything is cool, everything is both. Tipping on a tightrope. I never let the weatherman determine my mood. Tight bolts, tight screws. I'm a pretty stubborn dude. Top of every situation, call condition, call a truce. Cause my vibe too high, so your news don't apply. Tap into a higher frequency, I'm free as shit. Fire drama, levitate with only lyrics from my lips. Lie shit is what I'm trying to say. I just try to keep it basic, like outer space. Like you never really seen a planet out of place. You never seen a planet sweat another planet's pace. A planet gets there when it gets there, it's never late. And when it gets there, it's never scared, it knows its fate.
I must be
never
faithful
hates.
to myself for a
Maybe
minute.
Pluto, I think Pluto might.
I was thinking my joy, used to not get it. Thank you for all of the rain.
Yeah, and I'm feeling hot as sriracha. I'm about to go full Chewbacca on everything life can offer. Often offer my ancestors offerings for abundance protection. So I ain't really into killing. I don't really carry weapons. I'm more like really into healing. For real, I'm really about this money right now. That's why I keep my vibe up, keep my adrenaline down. If you have too much drama, there's no room for blessings around. And I trust my heart more and wear a crown for intuition now. Even if I look asshole, I still would trust my prediction. I still would walk in my truth, cause I know that it's God-given. I take the truth and untwist it, spit it with ill diction. Try to talk to your spirit, so happen the ears hear it. I spit it there like I'm in. I command the mic like it's 10. Thou shalt not sweat the bullshit. Take a deep breath, transcend it. Basically keep it stepping. Know your peace is your weapon. Above all else, trust your body. If you listen to anybody.
I must be faithful to myself for a minute. I was thinking my joy, used to not get it.
You're listening and tuning into
Afterdark Radio.
Broadcasting live from Los Angeles, California.
Yeah.
Running and playing and sleeping in the evening and eating and drinking and breathing and freeing and love. Even chilling in the garden and I close my eyes. Then we saw the light, this when shit got dark. Love, 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 love.
What you do when your condition is straight toilet.